Alright, so if you're thinking now, wow, it would be really great to be able to find a way to combine both of the benefits of the parent constraint as well as the regular parent. So it's like we want to maybe pick up the apple off the table, have it move around in our hand a little bit, and then place the apple back down and walk away. So how can we find a way to make these work in conjunction with one another? So I'm going to show you an example now of how we can do that with a double locator setup. So I'm going to show you this because animators picking things up and putting them down in animated scenes happens quite often. So this will be probably a useful thing for you to carry forward with you. One thing I didn't mention in the last video was how to unparent something. So when you see it in the outliner like this, and another way to set up the parenting, aside from dragging it in the outliner like this, would be to first select the child and then the parent and press P. So that's the opposite of constraints. I don't know why they set it up that way, but with the constraints you select the parent and then the child, and with parenting you select the child and then the parent, but that will give you the same thing. And then Shift P on the child will unparent the two. Alright, so we're going to do a situation now where I'm going to set up a double locator system, so that will allow me to come over here, pick up the child, move it over here, bring it back down, and then walk away. So what I'm going to do is to create a locator. And then I'm going to I'm going to call this locator parent loc, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Just going to call it child loc. And the parent I'm just going to make smaller so that I don't accidentally select it. Alright, so these two locators are in the exact same position. They're currently not connected to one another, but I'm going to put the child into the parent. So now when I move the parent around, of course the child follows. And this is a normal parent setup, so our child is going to be able to move independently while still maintaining that connection to the parent. Alright, so I have the parent currently selected right now, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to constrain it to my parent sphere. So I'm just going to put it here. That's where I'd like it to be connected. So now what I'm going to do is a parent constraint. Alright, so I'll select first my sphere and then the parent locator, and I'm going to do a parent constraint with the offset maintained. So my parent is now completely connected to my sphere. So I'm going to set a key here. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to want to pick up this child. Alright, so currently the child is not connected, the child's sphere is not connected in any way to my parent sphere. So we're going to come over here, and at this point what I want to do is parent constrain my child to the child locator. So I'm going to select this child locator that's following the parent locator, then my child sphere, and do another parent constraint. Alright, so that is going to turn on at this frame, but the prior frame I don't want it to be connected. So I hope this is making sense so far. So what I've got again is a little hierarchy here with the locators. So I've got a parent locator, and the parent locator is constrained to my parent sphere. So it's stuck there unless we key it off. My child locator is able to move independently because it doesn't have any connections, you can see here in the channel box. And then the child sphere is going to be parent constrained to the child locator so that they can attach, but then I can still key the child sphere away when I need to. So I'll just continue demonstrating this example here. So I've now connected them. I've turned on the blend parent of the child sphere. So I'm going to now pick up the child. So we'll just move up here. All right, and then say we want to hang out up here for a few frames, and then I'm going to put the child back down over here. I'm going to set a key here so that we save that position, and then the next frame, turn the child parent off, and then the parent walks away. All right, so we've got parent coming in, picking up the child, hanging out up there a little while, bringing the child down, and leaving the child. But we didn't yet utilize the whole point of this exercise, which was to give us a little bit of freedom while the child sphere is connected, that we can still move it around a little bit, like that apple in the hand idea. So what I'll do here is I'll select the child locator. So as soon as we've made this connection here, we've turned on the constraint, the child sphere is now attached to this whole setup. So within that, basically frame 30 until frame 105, I'm able to now additionally key layers of motion onto this. So maybe we want to have our little sphere moving around a little bit while still maintaining that connection. Even as we move down, maybe I want it to move up here. And then when we separate, even when I'm moving the child locator around, it has no relationship because I've turned off this constraint. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. It's a little bit of a simplified idea, but this would be the same as a hand picking up an apple, having the apple be able to move around within the hand, and then we'll place the apple back down and walk away from that. So this is the setup again. You will parent your child locator under your parent locator. You parent constrain the parent to the parent object, such as your hand, and then you parent constrain your child, such as the apple, to the child locator. So try this a couple times yourselves until you can get a good understanding of how this process works and how that might be useful for you.